Everyone's getting COVID.
ScoMo's diagnosis has proved one thing. Never trust a rat.
I got this rat, this gnawing, key-eating rat.
He took a rapid antigen test when he felt crook, negative, so breathes over everyone at a press conference.
With a very helpful briefing this afternoon on the very concerning situation here in Queensland.
And at a Ukrainian church. Feels worse, has a PCR test and bingo, got the virus and is in quarantine in Sydney.
First of all, can I just thank everybody for their very kind wishes after I confirmed last night that I tested positive for COVID.
It's bad news for anyone who's shaken Morrison's hand in the past couple of days, and really bad news for the WA Liberal Party, which was due to host a Morrison headline fundraiser on Sunday. The local Libs are now looking at other ways to raise some much-needed cash.
Well, I don't care where or how you get it. Just get it.
Meanwhile, Albanese flies into the state 5 minutes after the border opens.
Anthony's election strategy just got easy. Don't get sick. He gets the TV cameras all to himself for as long as the PM is crook. And when he's out west, you will need a crowbar to get Anthony off Mark McGowan.
How many COVID press conferences has McGowan done now?
Another one today. He's got this formula down pat. You give the update on the baseline stats.
Western Australia recorded a total of 1,770 new cases. This is off the back of 14,545 PCR tests conducted yesterday.
You tell everyone this is a magnificent effort, but we need more people to roll up for WA.
This is a great achievement by everyone, but we want to see that continue to climb.
You press home the fact that WA's response to COVID is the envy of the world.
It's actually an Australian leading achievement.
And you try not to lose your shit at a journalist.
I mean, honestly, in terms of transparency, I come out here and answer all your questions every day, provide you reams of information, every bit of information we possibly can. So
today's presser was about a new support package for businesses affected by capacity restrictions.
Our $72 million Level 2 COVID-19 Business Assistance Package.
The Premier told us that it was because of the social distancing restrictions he's imposed on business during COVID that he has enough money to support businesses sent to the wall by the social distancing restrictions imposed on businesses during COVID.
Alrighty then.
Mark said he hated having to put the brakes on business.
Restrictions on businesses are not something we are used to in Western Australia.
Really? We can't shop on Sunday before 11 in the morning, and we nearly had a civil war over the end of fuel station rostering. All West Australians know is restrictions on business.
I wonder if the Premier has sent Palmer a get well card.
Clive's battle with COVID, already a tough one because he isn't vaccinated, has just got tougher. He's got pneumonia, which is no joke for a healthy young person, let alone someone that's old and who has spent most of his life the size of a block of flats.
Clive can't catch a break at the moment.
He just wants the one thing that can cheer up any billionaire that's feeling down.
What's that?
A car owned by Adolf Hitler.
No.
And the Australian government is trying to take his toy off him. If there wasn't enough irony in a man who thought vaccination was a joke going to hospital with COVID, we now have a man who compared Mark McGowan's COVID response to the Third Reich, trying to import the Führer's Mercedes. The bulletproof Nazi sled was seized in France by the Yanks after the war. Palmer's been trying to buy it to add to his car collection. He's got 600 of them and has exhibited them at an event in Coolum called the Palmer Motorama. I'm not making this up. The Libs and Labor are both falling over themselves to condemn the crassness of the purchase. Perth MP Patrick Gorman has written a letter, which is the most potent thing an opposition member of Parliament can do about anything, and Home Affairs Minister Karen Andrews is vowing to stop the car coming to Australia, not because it's an affront to the ancestors of the millions killed by the Nazis, but because it might contain asbestos.
Hey, maybe he'll try to buy Putin's Lada Niva instead.
Putin's got sick of the world seeing what he's doing, so he's taken out a Ukrainian TV tower. Don't worry though, there are plenty of Russian journalists who will fill the information vacuum.
There has not been any proof of actual troops going into Ukraine, and the Ministry of Defence has stated clearly that this operation, which you cannot truly classify as an invasion because, again, there are no troops on the ground.
The lack of information coming from the front is a cause for concern for everyone, even those in secure fortresses like Perth's Golden Triangle. The war in Eastern Europe is starting to get real for the leafy western suburbs because a lot of people living there invest their money with this guy. That's Willy Packer. He runs WA's biggest homegrown investment fund, the Investigator Trust. $2 billion. A lot of that money from Dalkeith, Nedlands, Cottesloe and Claremont.
But listen, you've got to come in for a glass of Sauv Blanc, okay? Love to. I'm so over it. Harry, get in the car now!
And a lot of that money invested in Russian oil and gas.
Shocking!
The fund lost 12% in February. That hurts, due mainly to considerable stakes in Russian energy companies Gazprom and Rosneft. Those stocks have fallen 60% since Putin mobilised his army. Now, Willy has said, "We were hopeful that the Russians were better students of history and would have learned from the lessons of Iraq and Afghanistan."
You know that's never going to happen.
Willy's now having to have some awkward conversations with his investors who are crying into their acai bowls at Vans.
Ouch.
Some of them will be pissed off because they don't want to be associated with Russian companies and want out, like BP and Shell. Willy's less altruistic clients will be pissed off for a more basic reason. They're losing a lot of dough.
Yeah. I think I want my money back.
Those losses are particularly hard to swallow because 2 years ago, Willy sold most of Investigator's shareholdings in favour of cash. He believed the stock market would tank because of COVID. Instead, the Aussie market did this. And Willy's clients had to sit on the sidelines parked in low-yielding but very boring investments like cash and gold, while the rest of Australia's investors partied like it was 1999.
What's he going to do now?
It sounds like he's going to ride it out, which takes some balls.
Huge.
Willy didn't make anyone rich, and he has made a lot of people rich by selling at the bottom of the market. And he probably reckons that when it starts getting cold in Europe, the pipelines from east to west will again be full of Russian fossil fuel. And the world's money will eventually come back home. I'm Ben Harvey. For more Up Late, click the subscribe button below.